Welcome to Not a Real Court. I am your Judge Joe, and right now I am super used to this intro because we've been doing it for weeks now. And joined with me again because Kenny still has that neck hole clogged. He's getting it gauged up to a 3 millimeter, I guess. I don't know what sizes are. We'll go with 10 millimeter socket. I know that one's pretty common. We
That's
got Damone still in his
that's
place.
a big hole, big old hole,
Yeah, no, it's a big hole. Yeah.
biggest hole this side of the Mississippi. I hear.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes to put the Snickers bars right down the hole. Instead of just chewing them, he just pops them right in there.
That is a wild visual.
It also helps a lot with his choking because he eats a lot of seafood, as we all know. And he's allergic to it, so he eats it and then he just pulls it out of the neck hole so that
Oh,
it
so he
won't go
like
down and get him sick.
if he's, I was thinking more so like he gets sick he
No,
just
no.
as he's starting to like choke, he just opens it up and like lets a little bit of air out.
Oh no. He eats it, but he's allergic, so he likes the taste of it. But then when it gets down, he just
Pulls
open the
it out,
hatch.
opens
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hatch to pull it out.
Is it a hatch or is it something where he has to stick his finger in? Because to
I was
me,
thinking it more of a hatch, but are you thinking
I
it's more of like a place to pull it apart?
I was thinking it's more like a sliding glass door. Like it has like a little
Mm.
handle on it, and you can slide it over. All right.
Oh God!
And
Do you think
join with me.
Kenny likes to, or when he's eating those Snickers, he eats them upside down because he likes the feel?
The vein, yeah. No, I know he prefers it.
Okay,
So you're saying he eats corn
I
the long way?
I knew he was that type.
Yeah. No, corn the long way is the way to go, man. Um. So and we got Matt with us as well. If you couldn't
Hi,
tell,
I'm Matt. I'm here.
his fish are still alive in the background too.
Hey, fishies.
Um. So this week is our debate episode. So, as always, we each brought a topic to the table that we will be judging. For mine, I decided to bring to you, would you rather have a peg leg or would you rather have a hook for a hand? So, we have Damone on the side of the hook hand and we got Matt on the side of the peg leg. So, Matt, what is your opening statement?
There are a lot of things that I feel like you're definitely going to have a disadvantage for by having a peg leg. This one was like a hard one for me to decide because like there's so many things that have to happen with your legs, but the other advantage of though to at least having the peg leg portion of it is that I can still walk. Like there's no peg leg guy that you see from a pirate that's just sitting in a wheelchair or anything. Like he's getting around. He has figured out a way to make this thing work so I can still walk. And at the end of the day, that is the most functionality and the most important functionality of my leg is that I can walk. When I lose my hand, especially if I've lost my fingers, I've lost all like so many of the capabilities of what this hand is useful for, especially your thumb. And a hook, a single hook, while as cool as it could be, and as much as I have a weapon at that point, I also just have a hand that can also carry a weapon and can do a heck of a lot more things with it all at that point. Um, the hands to me are just so important. I don't know if my wife would really appreciate me doing certain things to her with a hook hand compared to my regular hand. So, yeah, there's a lot of things there that I need everything that I would lose in my hand. Whereas I feel like in my leg, while it's a detriment, I'm still keeping the ability to do the most important thing that my leg needs.
Okay. Damone, what's your opening statement for the side of having the hook hand?
So I understand the importance of the feet and everything, which is why I think you should keep your feet as they are and go with the hook hand, because with the hook hand you can still grab things, you can stab at things. Plus, you still have your other hand anyway. It's not like you're both. If you were going to tell me both hands were hooks, then maybe. But if only one of them is a hook, you still have your regular hand to do those things that you need your thumbs for. But with the hook hand, if I ever want to go hang gliding, or not hang gliding, but zip lining. If I want to go zip lining, I don't even need the fancy contraption or anything. I can just use my hook hand. And if I just want to need to, or if you're going to bring in your groceries all at once, Just swoop in with your
Ooh,
and just go.
that's a good one. That is good. That's good. Matt, what do you
Good.
got for rebuttals?
I mean, I'm still grabbing a bag with my hand. That's not stopping me from doing anything like that. But
You're grabbing like
again, it's just
one.
what I'm only taking one
One?
bag.
Or no, I'm saying you can maybe grab like 5 bags with your hand.
All
But
right,
if you
so
have a hook, you can grab at least 10.
I mean, my hand can also hold just another hook that can grab that and then just and carry it.
But then you gotta buy a hook. I already have the hook.
Well, that's if I have this like spaghetti arm. I don't know what this 5 bags are that you're carrying or what you have in your bags. I'm definitely carrying more than 5 bags if I need to. I'm making one trip regardless. I don't know if that's happening. I don't need the hook to necessarily do that part of things. I just think about this what I'm losing necessarily in it. Like, and if you think about specifically what is something that I need to have that thing for, I you have people in like the Paralympics who are able to still run and do things when they have legs, when they have an amputated leg with something there or like a prosthetic leg. Those people are still running in the Olympics even though they've lost their leg. If I've lost my hand with that hook, I'm not playing ping pong. I'm not playing thumb wrestling. I can't do that kind of stuff. Like there's a big detriment there. I can't replace what I'm losing in 5 fingers. Like I understand that, like you said, with your foot, I might be losing 5 toes. My toes don't do everything that my fingers need to do for me to act and be able to do certain things. I will say, for one credit though, I had my music teacher in grade school. This to me was always the craziest thing. My man had a hook hand and like more of like a nub hand. Like he had kind of just like a couple of like little like pieces of fingers that were still coming off on the one hand. My dude played piano. He was so amazing. Like I get that man always blew my mind how well he could still play piano doing all that stuff. And it just was to me like a moment of like amazing of what you can still do, even if your body can't doesn't have the advantages of what maybe others will if you just want to do it. Like he was always an inspiration to me for that. So I want to be careful about trying to like where I am in this argument because like that part was I always thought that was amazing. But he could have played piano better. I feel like he was great, but he could have played better. If he had all his fingers, he would have been goddamn the next Mozart. You'd know his name. But that's where we're at.
But we don't.
Follow up question for you. If I lose, say I don't have my hook hand, I still have my other hand. I can still do things with, or I could use essentially like I guess the nub to like type or do whatever. If I take your peg leg entirely, you're not running. You're stuck with hopping everywhere.
You're not wrong, and I think that's maybe where I would get caught. But
Yeah, you're getting caught
I
very easily.
I'm still but you're stuck not being able to open up a door unless that hand is free all the time. Like I
Yeah,
don't know how that hook hand is.
you could use your like your appendage. I'm
No,
trying not to call it
I
a
have
nub. Like
I
you
have
can
me
use your appendage to like twist the door open.
the way you had phrased that, my mind immediately went to like, all right, where would the worst case scenario be? And I immediately went to like a zombie apocalypse. Like, where would I not want to have a peg leg, or would I not want to have the hook hand? That's where I thought about the door. Like, you're gonna get stuck like trying to like open a door and being unable to. Like, I can't fucking grab this thing and get out.
Yeah,
Like,
but
so
I feel like you can maneuver it. But if you're getting caught, like if Jason is coming after you with the hook hand, you can still run and you can even fight him off with the hook. If you have a peg leg, if the peg leg gets kicked out or gone or burned or something, you're in trouble. Like you're
see,
stuck.
I have a hard time though with like the argument about like using the hook as a weapon because I thought about that too, and what that would entail. But at the same time, like I can't hold a gun the right way with a hook for a hand. Like at that point, I'm losing a lot of like my ability to use other weapons. And then I immediately went to like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII of like, we specifically said you have a hook hand, so you can't just like detach this thing and put like a chainsaw or like a extendo thing on your hand to make that like a weapon. Um,
I
that
guess
would
you
be
could
cool.
like
That
kind
would
of
be cool.
loosen it a little bit and then chuck it
Just
to make it
like you're
long range.
a
It's a
ninja
long,
throwing
yeah,
a star, but you're just throwing the
yeah,
hook.
yeah. You're just throwing the hook.
Oh
It's
my
become a
god.
long range weapon now.
Well, like you open up, screw an axe throwing place. You open up like a hook throwing place for
A
all your
hook
hook hand
throwing place,
friends.
yeah, yeah. You can all come and throw your hooks.
No, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty dope. But I also hate the idea of like all the computers and like TVs and things I would break by like going to like tap it with my hook and it just like shattering through everything.
Mm.
Just
You
go.
just have to
I gotta type
lightly
something
tap.
out, and I'm just.
You just have to lightly tap it. You don't slam it.
I
Like just
mean,
type
depends
lightly.
depends on how sharp you have your hook, and if I have a hook, I'm keeping it for self defense, so like, it's gonna be sharp at all times.
True,
Okay.
but also you wouldn't really need forks anymore.
But I have the option to use a fork if I want to. You can't even
But why
you
would
can't
you need
use
to?
one.
You just stab it. That's one less utensil you got to clean every night.
Oh god, I'm just picturing you now with the super sharp hook, just like fucking pegging
Stabbing
down a
this,
piece of
stabbing a steak.
stabbing a steak, fucking going right through the table, pulling it out, going right in your mouth, and just jabbing through your chin, through your cheek.
I
Now
love
I
how
can picture this thing.
every time someone does a hand motion of a hook, their arm is always cocked like this, which makes no sense if you think about it,
Well,
but everyone does it.
it's because of the camera angle. I can't just like extend my arm because
I
then
know,
I'm
but
just like,
like people could just do this, but like anytime someone does hook hand, it's always fucking arms straight up in the air with the hand the mashed potatoes.
The
You know what
mashed
I'm talking about.
potatoes.
Every single
Grab my
time.
strong hand, child. Well, I guess the advantage of like if you were hanging on a cliff, you would rather grab onto someone's leg over a hook hand.
I don't know, man.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think my two biggest things for this probably would be like one of my final arguments with it is I can't think of a game controller necessarily that is just ready for a hook. Like I have too many fingers pushing too many buttons I'm playing video games, whether it be on the computer or on the console, that I need that. And I don't feel like my wife would like the soft caress of my hook hand on her cheek. So I'm doing this for her. I'm making this argument for her.
I guess it could be used to your advantage in the bedroom if you did it right. Some people are into like knife play and stuff like that. So
What the fuck?
Are you on your period? No, your fucking hook got me.
some people knife play is a thing. That's a thing. People are into like not obviously not like stabbing themselves or anything, but
Yeah,
like
I'll look it up.
rubbing like knives and
Don't look
knives
that
and
up.
stuff.
Don't look that up.
I'll watch a tutorial video. How
Tomorrow,
did how did
Joe's like, I bought 5,000 knives.
I got this sick Cutco set, man. You gotta see. All
I'm a
right,
knife guy now.
Damone, what is your closing argument?
Hook hands are just cooler. You can also see them immediately. You can also you can get a customized different colors, all sorts of things. Where with the peg leg, unless you're wearing shorts, no one's gonna know you have it. Which I guess depending on the situation might be a good thing. But I also think you're being able to, if you have a hook hand, it's cool to look at. You can use it to scare kids, or you can pretend to be a pirate and get kids to like you.
So I'm sorry. So in your vision, am I in this peg leg? Am I not wearing a shoe? Or I have a pant leg long enough that it's covering up the end of the peg leg, or
Yeah, like I'm assuming that like you wear shoes, so
I
you're
a
picture
like,
shoe for a peg leg?
no. I'm talking
I just
like
need a cap on it. Shit, I might just have like the tennis ball just broken up. You know, you put on the
oh, so
corner of the.
you're not even having a foot. You're just having just the
yeah, no,
peg.
I'm saying like
Yeah, I think
fucking pirate, a pirate peg
you
leg.
could wear you could get pants that go all the way to the bottom.
Oh, that's gonna just drag in all the rain and snow and be all wet. No one wants that.
True. Or and also then people gotta look at your legs. How often are you looking at someone else's leg?
Depends if they're in shorts or not. I'm a
Damn,
leg person.
I'm
I'm
always in
sorry.
shorts. That's crazy. He's been eyeing me up.
He's been looking you down and down.
So why do
Better
you think
than
I'm always
side to
coming over?
side, like
Why do
most
you think I'm
people
always
look at me.
coming over to check to see if you're wearing socks?
I'm wearing socks.
No, for Damone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was like,
No,
what the
no.
fuck?
No,
Never.
when I see him, I always gotta check. I always gotta stop over and check to see if he's wearing socks or not.
He's not.
I
Yeah.
know. It blows my mind. So especially now
He-
in the winter, I have to go verify.
Oh no, he will wear Crocs with no fucking socks in the snow. It's
And
insane.
as punishment, I try to make him park as far away as possible.
I'm still not wearing socks. Unless it's in the negatives. If it's in the negatives, then I'll wear socks.
As I say, I've seen this man in a suit with no socks before, so like that's how I know he'll never wear socks.
That's just classy.
I don't know about that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and decide. I will say I was on Damone's side for a majority of this, and then the more things he was saying, it really started to gross me out. Especially when he said you don't even have to clean it after, which really made me think there's a lot of people that ain't gonna be cleaning that hook. So I'm gonna go with the side of the peg leg.
I feel like the hooks,
Oh.
when you take a shower, it's just going to automatically get clean.
It's gonna rust.
I'm assuming you would use metal that doesn't rust. Like, I don't know, just titanium rust? I don't know. I'm not a hook hand expert. I don't
Me
know
either.
what the metal they use.
Me neither.
All
right, so,
I'll look at Mr. Contafio for you and get you in chart, get you to know about him, or get you to know about the hook hands.
So Matt is our next judge. What topic have you present or brought to the table for us?
All right, so for this week's debate, I would like to find out what was the superior TV block. Was it Friday night ABC's Thank God It's Friday? Or was it Saturday night on Nickelodeon with Snick? Damone, we'll start with you. Opening arguments.
So Snick is good and all. It's a great lineup of shows. But not Nickelodeon, TGI Friday, everyone uses that term now all the time for everything. And it also had way better shows, way more mature shows that have grown with us. So like we have like Full House was on TGIF, and now we have Fuller House, and Sabrina got remade, and that was also on TGIF. Where Nickelodeon's shows, those shows were good when we were kids, but they don't really have the replay value or the remake value that the TGIF lineup does. And I feel like it has some more. Some of the characters over there are iconic, but I feel like most of the iconic ones are on TGIF. Your Steve Urkels, your Sabrinas, your Danny Tanners. I feel like we have the more iconic characters as well.
Okay. R.I.P. there, Bob Saget.
R.I.P.
Judge Joe. All right, so that means that puts you on the side of Snick. Why was Snick the superior of the shows? TV
Well,
wise?
my first thing I'd like to point out is it's so superior that even the guy that's going against Snick right now started to say that Snick was the better option. So I would like to point that out. Next part I would like to point out is could you please sing to me the song from TGIF?
I could not. I don't remember it, to be honest.
Judge, could you sing me the song to Snick?
Snick, 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 Nickelodeon.
Okay, so one of them is more memorable. That's good to know. The other thing, you want to talk about a cast growing up? We have one show alone that has brought so many people up, which is All That. Have you seen the cast of All That?
I have
Come on.
seen the cast of all
Keenan
that.
Thompson, Amanda Bynes. We got Drake Belt, kind of. Gabriel Iglesias, Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon wouldn't have 16 kids without Snick.
Did you say Gabriel Iglesias?
Yep. Yes, I did. Jamie Lynn Spears. Chris Farley was on it. There's so many different people that have been on this show. Taryn Killiam.
I feel like it was like a
I'd
kids'
s-
version of Saturday Night Live.
It was.
It was.
The kids' version of like Saturday Night Live, Mad TV. Hot take: Mad TV is better than SNL.
Oh, that's a good debate night. That's a good debate one at some point.
That is an interesting one. I'll throw it on the docket.
All right.
But I think I have a trump card.
Okay.
TGIF. I I don't think it has any allegations. What about Snick over there? What were they doing over there on Nickelodeon side? I hear that
Oh,
there was some diddling going on over there, and a lot of your stars over there have some issues as adults.
plead the fifth.
Yeah, like that Drake,
Valid court argument.
like that Drake Bell fella. I hear that he's not doing too great.
Okay, but you know who is doing great? Nick Cannon takes his kids to Disney every year, and Nick Cannon has 16 kids. That
All
alone,
16.
that alone makes him a wonderful person.
Yeah,
I
he has
I
to
don't know
spend
if
more
he's
on
a
that trip.
wonderful person. He's
Okay, tell me this. Tell me this. Without all that, do we ever get Wild and Out?
yeah, maybe. I don't even remember Nick Cannon being on all that.
He was Nick Cannon.
I'm saying I don't like he wasn't memorable. Like I feel like I know he was on Nickelodeon, but like I don't pick like he's not in my like if I was gonna do a Mount Rushmore of Nickelodeon or Snick or Nickelodeon in general, he wouldn't be on there. Like I know that's where he came from, but
Okay,
I feel like he would have been fine without it.
I get it, but that's where he started.
It is where he started. But is there a more iconic character than Steve Urkel? Like Steve Urkel, everyone still calls the actor Steve Urkel. That's not his name. He hasn't had that done that role in like 30 years, and we still
Wow.
are calling him that.
Imagine not growing up and doing any other roles, so you're only known as one thing. All right.
It's because the character is so iconic. It's so memorable. You can't detach him from it.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
Danny Tanner. None of your parents over there are nearly as good as Danny Tanner or Uncle Joey.
We don't know. We don't need
Oh,
kids on Snick, or we don't need adults on Snick
You
because we're having
needed
a
adults on Snick
no,
is the
no.
issue.
did
No, we're having a good time over here.
did you actually see
You
that Uncle Joey got diagnosed with cancer, and so John Stamos shaved his head?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, see, that's a tight knit group, man. Those guys
Yeah,
are always so close like that.
yeah. The issue over at
Speaking of
Snick.
close people, Snick brought together a whole fucking cast to go against the allegations. They got a very great series you can watch now
Yeah, they
about
waited
what.
20 years to take care of it. Good job.
Okay, and you want to talk about Sabrina the Teenage Witch being remade? I'm sorry, when was that? Was that 20 years later or was it 2 years
Yeah,
later?
I know. The comparing actual allegations versus remaking a show. Same thing.
It's a remake.
Yes, it is a remake. Yeah,
Also, I didn't think that was going on with Snick. I thought that was the later on stuff.
no, it was like that whole era.
Because I
They
thought it
were
was like iCarly and Drake and Josh and stuff
no,
like
it's the
that.
same guy who made all those shows. I forget his name.
I don't remember them talking about any of those shows though during that. I think Amanda
Um,
Bynes is the only person I can think of that.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm actually going to kind of agree with that. I think that was a little bit later than like the when Snick was really at its prime. Like you might have caught like a very like end of it type thing, but
it was Dan
I don't.
Snyder. And yeah, it was Dan Snyder. He was a writer and producer of all that, Keenan and Kel, the Amanda Show, and then the later stuff too. So yeah, he started the groundwork during Snick.
Well, listen, if you're going to claim that, then you also have to take on Mary Kate and Ashley for Full House.
Yeah, but they were icons. Yeah, Mary Kay and Ashley. They became cultural icons.
And then cultural drug dealers.
They had some issues, but that's two. That's two out of what? We got two. They have 25.
Okay, but hear me out. You got people dealing drugs. We got people dealing orange soda. You know how fucking popular orange soda got from Keenan and Kel?
I feel like it didn't get that much popular. I think that it may have gotten slightly more popular, but I don't think
Oh no.
anyone's like still drinking orange soda because of Keenan
People
and
are
Kel.
still drinking orange soda because of Keenan and Kel.
I
And
love
you
orange
know
soda.
they damn well quote it whenever they fucking drink it.
Is it true?
Mm-hmm.
There's a good
I
argument.
do.
But I know you had an idea for us, right? Of
I
a
did.
perfect
All right. So
lineup.
yeah. Let's get away from all the accusations for a minute. So when I think about each though, these were 2-hour segments. You had 4 half-hour shows here in that you had for 2 hours. So if you could build your dream lineup from the shows that aired either in TGIF or SNCC, give me your lineup starting with 8 a.m. going to that 10 p.m. And I will tell you, I'm gonna judge this a little bit on what time slot you put each one in because it matters. The flow of your episodes and what you're trying to accomplish in your segment matters to me.
Question, Judge?
Yes.
You said at 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. Did you mean 8 p.m.?
8 p.m.
Okay,
to 10
I just want
p.m.
to make sure because I was like, holy fuck, that's way longer than I thought.
Nope. Apologies. Apologies. 2 hour segment. So give me 4 of your half-hour shows. All right. Let's go. So start off your 8 p.m. Eastern time zone show. What are you putting in your first segment? What are you opening with?
Who are we going with?
Judge Joe, you go first with SNCC.
All right, I'm going to start off with Are You Afraid of the Dark? So it's not too late yet.
Wow. Okay.
It's not even dark yet, man.
That's
It's fucking
early.
dark at 5 o'clock over here. What are you talking
now.
about?
Now, but
am I not watching
if
in
I'm
the summer?
right, if I'm watching in the summer,
We're
it's
not watching in
fucking-
the summer. We're outside fucking playing in the summer.
We're watching my show. We're watching TGIF every Friday, summer, winter, spring, fall. Doesn't matter.
You're
Without
killing
stop.
yourself, Joe. You get it. Come on. You're killing yourself here.
All right, whatever.
All right. 8 p.m. TGIF. What are you going with, Damone?
We're gonna start off with Boy Meets World.
Okay.
Boo.
Okay. I am actually, as somebody who Boy Meets World is my hands down favorite show ever. It kind of pained me a little bit that it's taken you this long to bring up that show, especially when you have the remake of Girl Meets World. But I'll allow it.
I wasn't a huge Girl Meets World.
I was gonna
fan.
say Matt might be.
It wasn't that good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that it was really good. I was
No.
like, I did not hear anyone say it was good.
No.
Yeah, I tried. I couldn't.
Yeah,
get
no.
into
We're
it.
gonna run right past that one.
It was too Disney.
I would agree with that. Definitely agree on that. But I'm never gonna be upset seeing Topanga. All right, what are you putting in your 8:30 slot? We'll kind of do this as a snake draft kind of thing.
I'm gonna put Full House.
Okay. Joe, 8:30.
I am gonna go all that.
Okay. Your 9 o'clock.
The Amanda Show.
Okay. And so yeah, you're 9 and 9:30 here, Damone.
I'm going Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay. And you're 9:30. You're 9:30 to wrap it up.
I'm gonna go with Family Matters. Steve Urkel bringing us home.
All right. And Judge Joe, how are you finishing out your night?
Keenan and Kel.
All right. So just a quick recap. For TGIF, we have Boy Meets World, followed by Full House, followed by Sabrina, followed by Family Matters. For SNCC, we have Are You Afraid of the Dark, followed by All That, followed by The Amanda Show, followed by Keenan and Kel. Man, I'm not gonna lie. So just listening to those ones, I do wish you would have flipped around and flipped around your entire series, gone Amanda Show, then Keenan and Kel, All That, and Are You Afraid of the Dark. I do agree. I think Are You Afraid of the Dark should be your last one. Leave that for the later kid, for the
whole point is that it's scary songs or movie. It's scary stories. So you're watching them when it's late.
And I'm pretty sure that's how it was. Go ahead.
I will give you my thought process then. So I'm saying having it on at 8 so you can still watch the scary stuff, but keep in mind we're thinking of this from a kid perspective. So you're watching Are You Afraid of the Dark? You're still getting those scares at night, but then you have those comedic shows that'll bring you down to be able to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There was like one Are You Afraid of the Dark with mummies, and then there was another one with obviously it was just like a ghost, but it was like a ghost that was like cold and she was looking for her jacket. And I don't know what level of comedy I was going to get after that was going to have me go to bed those nights. That part was not happening. But I do love Are You Afraid of the Dark? So like I said, I still give that some love there. Yeah, and then the opposite, the other end. Yeah, I do have to laugh a little bit because I'm pretty sure Family Matters was in the 8 o'clock slot. I'm pretty sure that's what the like that was like for the mainstay for a long time of like here's your start to it. So I like you
Right.
putting it later on in there. All right. No, those were good lineups. Okay, so before then, just to try to wrap the thing up, do you guys have any arguments, any final statements against before I make my final decision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't even put in one of the best ones. Sister, sister didn't even make the cut, which is crazy.
Oh, so good that you didn't bring it up until the very end. Nice.
Step by step also didn't make the cut.
One of my other favorite songs. Step by step,
Hanging with Mr.
day by
Cooper.
day by day. Yeah, that's another great one.
Okay, now let me ask you this: any cartoons on this one, or are you only dealing with live action?
We're live action. We're about real life situations. We're giving you life lessons.
Perfect.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch
Well,
with its life.
well, we're
It has
we're
life
all
lessons.
we're all about entertainment and having a variety of different shows, not just a family and a household.
Wait, what cartoon did you say?
We have Kablam, we have Rugrats, we have the Ren and Stimpy show.
Okay.
All right. All right. I like that you talked about going in the exact opposite of what would be considered a family show with Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy, Ren and Stimpy was, I'm pretty sure, one of like the three. Like when I was a kid, I remember immediately my parents being like, "You will never watch Beavis and Butthead. That will not happen." I had a bunch of older brothers though, so I got to still kind of watch it. The Simpsons, they like didn't love it, but they like never made me actually like said no to it. And then Ren and Stimpy, I think just because it was on Nickelodeon, they didn't care. And then I think like just randomly, my mom watched one once, and she was just like, "Never again, never again."
Yeah,
I,
I'm surprised they got away with that one.
oh, that one was wild. If you're honest, if you go back now, it's almost cringeworthy. Unless you're watching again the one you want to talk about like little theme songs. Apparently, I'm somebody who just remembers all these little theme songs from my childhood, but that's all I could remember from Ren and Stimpy is "Don't take a whiz on the electric fence," and then you get electrocuted if you did.
Yeah,
So
I'm surprised they got
I will
away
never
with
pee
that
on it. I
show.
will never pee on an electric fence because of Ren and Stimpy. I can tell you that much.
I won't
Um,
because of A Thousand Ways to Die.
that's all. Yeah, no, that's actually a good valid point. I bet you they got it from Ren and Stimpy though.
Or from
Probably.
someone dying.
All right, man. I had you guys put those together. I really did want to make that matter. I do really agree with the idea of like how much difference you get in Snick because TGIF really was just the same type of like family theme over and over again. Um, and I loved that. Like all that, I think was probably one of the most entertaining shows out of all of these. Boy Meets World is one of my favorites. You guys actually made a lot of really good arguments, so I'm really going to try to base it off of your lineup. And as much as I say that, you get Are You Afraid of the Dark? That I think is in the wrong slot, and then all that the Amanda Show, and then Keenan and Kel all felt like they were very similar to each other. So that argument kind of goes out the door. So I think I'm going to go on the side of TGIF here.
Let's go.
I'm sorry, Joe. I really thought you had it there for a minute.
You put yeah. I think
All
if
the
you
arguments together, I'm looking at it and I can't
yeah,
justify
I
it.
think if you switched Are
I
You
never
Afraid
thought
of
I
the
had it.
Dark, you would have had it. Also, I will say now that the argument's over, Family Matters does not hold up at all.
You know, yeah, I haven't gone back and watched that one. I can definitely see that being the
I
case.
wouldn't. It's not great,
Okay.
especially the first season's pretty rough before Steve shows up, and then they literally lose a kid. Like she just goes
Yeah,
upstairs and then just
just
never comes
locked,
back.
locked in the attic. I remember reading a lot of the conspiracy theories about that.
Yeah, she goes upstairs one season, and then the next season they just pretend she never existed.
Yep. No, I do. I did appreciate though that you finally bringing up Step by Step because that was just the white people's version of Family Matters. We have to appeal to everybody. So
I did like Step by Step. Is that I haven't watched it again like since I was a kid, but
I will always remember that opening with them on the roller coaster.
yeah. Oh. So my turn, right?
Yep.
So I'm the judge for would you rather take 17 years off your life or be 9 inches shorter? So just for context, Joe, how tall are you?
I'm 6'4",
Okay. So that would bring you down to
5'9".
5'5" or 5'9", yeah. So my height. You'd be my height. And then Matt, how tall are you?
I'm 5'11" and a half because it fucking pisses me off. I'm not actually 6 feet tall, and I refuse to say that I'm actually 6 feet tall because of it. So,
That's crazy putting in a fucking half an inch to try to get to 6
bro,
foot.
I'm legit that close. I'm actually pissed off because I'm definitely taller than 5'11", but I'm not 6 foot, and there's something
My
about me that
dick is
just
three and a
won't.
half inches.
It's actually 3.75 centimeters.
Bro, when it's only 3.5, that half is like 18% of the volume you're talking about. So yeah, I'm gonna account for
It's
that.
important. We gotta have accurate, exact measurements. School taught us that. So you'd be 5'2"
Yes,
and a
and a half.
half.
A
5'2"
5'2" and a
and
That's
a
tall
half.
as shit. You're gonna be in a car seat.
So it's
That's
no okay. So it's funny that you say that because the first thing when I mentioned this to my wife just before we started the episode, and she was just like immediately she was just like you're on the wrong side. I'm like what do you mean? I would never willingly take years off my life like for even for just like a more a less like I don't know a life that I maybe you can't do as many things as you think you'd like to, but I can still do the things. Like I'm not losing time to still do the things, but I can still have enjoyment there. But she had kind of made the point too, where she was like, "Well, she's like, it would be so hard for me because she would be like 4'5" because she's 5'2", and I kind of looked at her and I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense, but you're talking to me, and the question is, and I want to make sure to clarify, this question is specifically for me, right?
yeah,
Not necessarily
specifically
just for
for
as a whole.
you. Yeah.
So I'm like, so I would be 5'2", I would be your height, and she just kind of looked at me like, oh, like, so is your life really that much more miserable being 5'2" that you would shave 17 years off your life? Like you're talking about the average male in the United States, and I'm going to take it from here where we all are because God knows this fucking country's poisoning us in different ways, but I'm not going to get on that rabbit hole. Um, the average male life is 73. And so that's awesome. If I'm going to shave 17 years off my life, now you're talking about me passing away at 56. I'm not even getting to retirement. Like that's not even, so it's not even worth it. I'm just going to work my whole life for nothing. I would rather be shorter and be able to enjoy retirement or enjoy whatever that thing is going to be if I'm just an average person, more so than being an average height and dying early.
Yeah, it's a good opening argument. Joe, what's yours? Why would you take off 17 years instead of being shorter?
Well, for one thing, motivation. All right. When I know that I'm going to be shaving off time in my life, I'm going to be motivated to do more things sooner to enjoy that time. I also will not have to worry about what the world is like in 17 years later after if I was still alive. Because who knows what the fuck's going on? You want to talk about inflation? Guess what? I died off when gas was $17 a gallon, not $35 a gallon. All right. So I never had to worry about that. Um,
Question.
nukes.
I do have a
Nukes
question.
are going to
Follow up.
happen in that 17 years. All right.
I,
Not,
I,
not in what?
my question is: do you, with the 17 years, do you know? I guess this is more of a question I would be because I'm the judge, but would you know when you were originally scheduled to die, and then you'd be like, okay, you were gonna die when you were 80, so we're taking 17 years off, or
So
would it be like you don't know how 17 years you could be shaving off you
can
could be dying in 17 years in one day, so you could really be cutting
right.
it. You could be dying tomorrow.
Right. I would, I guess that would be the one thing I would tell you. You're the judge at the end of this. This is your topic. But I
I'm
would say,
gonna
like, I can't make that decision and then be like, well, you're only going to live another 6 years. So you just die immediately. I would say
right.
you have to be alive for at least
Yeah.
at least another 17 years in one day kind of thing to where you would You have to at least exist another day, so there's something in there otherwise.
So
But
I'm
yes,
gonna
but
say,
there's a random chance there that you're not even living to that average life, that you're
I,
just
I feel like, in my opinion, I'm just throwing this out there. Obviously, you're the judge, but
right.
I think 17 years is crazy compared to only 9 inches.
Yeah.
So I think I
So
should be able to
yeah,
know when I'm dying.
I'll give you that. You can know what year you were originally going to die. So you can
Okay,
make a calculated risk on, like, if you know you're going to die at 80, so instead you're going to die at 63. So, yeah, you can know when.
perfect. So I'll throw in there as well then. So if I know I'm going to die before I retire, I'm not going to have to worry about stressing about what Social Security is going to be like when I grow up. And also, I don't have to put money into the 401k. I can just use all that money to spend and go do all this cool shit now.
I'm glad that you brought up the 401k because you were talking about inflation. And if you know anything about one of the banking rules, it's that if you are properly putting away your money for retirement, it's that your money will double every 7 years. So you're worried about inflation, but I'm talking about that I'm at that point where I've already made my money and paid off my debts. And now I'm more than doubling my money. I am quadrupling my money at that point. So I'm not worried about inflation because now I finally get to enjoy that part of life of just spending money and doing what I want and
Must be
enjoying that
really
side of things.
enjoyable
And
at 70 years old to go out and do all those fun activities, right? What are you doing? Fucking looking at birds?
at 70 years old, no, you know what I'm doing? I'm watching my grandkids grow up. And a good 17 years of being able to actually enjoy that means everything. And yes, at that point at 70, yeah, we might be in different situations, but I definitely plan to still be like very active. Like that's something that's always been in my family that are, we've lived be a little bit older and we can be more active and I fully plan to, unfortunately, like I do understand what you're talking about, like with that argument of like, well, if I know that I'm going to die now in 6 years, like that now gives me this little boost of how do I maximize those 6 years. um I'm sure that's something that everybody wants to know is what day they're actually going to die on so that you can try to plan for that as best you can. But you don't need to actually know what that day is to have that motivation. There are a lot of people that unfortunately it takes going through like a near death thing, but that's the first, what do they say to every person when they're having that motivational speech is live every day like it's your last one. Do all that stuff. Like a person needs to just make that choice. I don't need to know that day. I just need to make the personal choice to actually live my life that way. Um, and I think it'd be pretty irresponsible, honestly, for me to know that I'm going to die in 6 years because um, those would be 6 very dangerous years for me.
Yeah, because I would probably do some things I wouldn't normally do because I know, like, I'm not going to die anyway. So,
I'm gonna sow my seed. I'm gonna make sure my legacy lives on. Sorry, honey, but I'm gonna have as many mini me's as I can run around this world.
gonna Nick Cannon
Yeah, exactly.
it. um, and also I don't know if I would want to. I wouldn't want to know when I was gonna die. Like, I do, but I don't because I have anxiety. So I would, even though even if it's like
Yeah,
30 years from now, I would still be anxious about, like, as it's counting down. Like, oh my god, it's getting closer.
yeah, agreed.
But
You know what else would suck?
yeah,
Waiting in line to get on a roller coaster with all your friends and finding out you're too short.
that would suck.
That's why they have the you must be this tall at the front of the line thing.
Oh, so you're telling me that they have that all the way at the back of the line. You don't have to wait a certain amount of time before you can get up and actually
Definitely telling you they have that at the front of every ride before you walk into the
Yeah,
line.
at the
usually they
front of
have
every
the
ride, not at the back of the line.
No, yes, before you even enter the line.
Yeah, but usually, like, at the, like, when you, like, the roller coaster's there, like, wherever in the back, and then before you go through, like, the turnstile or the whatever, the maze, there's usually the sign there that says, like, you have to be 48 inches or however many inches tall to ride it.
What
And then like
about the line before you get to that though is what I'm talking about.
yes, listen, you are the last person
What
I'm
lines are
taking.
you going to?
I'm not taking any kind of roller coaster advice from you. I've been on one roller coaster with you. There was a 13-year-old girl next to you making fun of you. Like you don't
That
know. You're not telling me about roller coasters.
this is true, and you know what? I wouldn't have had to go on that if you were 5'2" because you would have been too short.
Well, and then we got you to go on. So
Well, you would have had to go on with him because he needs an adult with him to make sure that he
See,
can be on the rides.
but that's rude. See, you're being very. Oh God,
Heightist.
there's yes. Thank you. My wife again. My height would have just been my wife's height. She went on the roller coaster with us.
No, she didn't.
I know you probably blacked out during that and don't remember much of it, but I promise you she did.
Okay. What about a booster seat? I mean, you're just barely out of the booster seat range to be safe for using a fucking seatbelt.
I'm not gonna lie. So we just got a minivan and it's got like the bucket seats, and my wife's feet just don't touch the bottom completely, don't touch the floor, and that does sound miserable to me. Just being like just dangling your feet like doo.
Yeah, and having to adjust your seat all the fucking time getting in and out of the vehicle.
Yep, all those sound terrible. I do agree. But I also love the idea of just being able to do those things and not being dead.
All right. Do you love the idea of having to ask strangers to grab things off shelves for you?
That listen, I bought my wife a
Okay.
step stool for this. Like she
Uh,
doesn't use
I
it, but
went.
I bought
I
her a
went
step
with
stool.
the.
So
I went with the hook hand instead of a step stool. But
those extendo arm things where you can just like squeeze on it and it grabs for like the T-Rex arms.
Hold up. You bought her a step stool to take to a store?
No, just for like the kitchen and to get to all like the cabinets
Oh,
up
okay.
in
I thought
there.
you meant like a one to take out in public. I was like, what the fuck?
No, but I do know some of those women that have to have like a step stool to like get into a car. And that's always
My
kind of
neighbor.
funny. Well, they have a carriage, not a car.
No, well, I know, but the old lady across the street from me, she has like when the one person shows up with their big truck, she has to use the step. She has a like a step that she gets on to get onto the step on the truck and then gets in the truck.
Yeah, no, the first thing I thought about, especially though, when I thought about the loss of height, was concerts. Like that is really what would bum me because I'm more of a stage watcher and I like seeing all the things that are happening up on stage and I always feel bad for the short people around me. Like I try to make room for them so they can see, but that's always been one of those. I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm not that short. So that one would definitely make me sad. But again, I just always drop back to, but I still have 17 more years of then shows to go to that maybe I can sit down at and just be fine. That I would I just I
better
would just
to
would
And just
rather have.
enjoy the audio.
I mean, yeah,
you,
for somebody who can see the stage though, I've never had to think about those things. So yeah, as a short person, I'd probably make that argument.
yeah, or you could get better seats, or like if you go to like Darien Lake, sit in the back, like because it's like angled,
Oh,
so you can
okay.
still kind of see.
Or somebody's definitely put me up on their shoulders. Like just give me up there for a second. Let me just flash a little bit.
So we'll do closing arguments. We'll start with Joe. What's your closing argument? Sell me on
Hmm.
shaving off 17 years.
Man, I mean, listen, there's a lot of depression that comes around with some of these folks, and in 17 years, it's nice to not have to deal with depression through those 17 years. Um, Also, like I said, inflation, you don't got to deal with that. The stress of what's going on in the world. Is there going to be tornadoes here again? There wasn't tornadoes in New York for my whole life. Now we're getting like 17 a week now,
And
something like
earthquakes.
that. And earthquakes and no snow, but now all of a sudden there's snow, and then like maybe it'll be no snow for the. I didn't use my snowblower at all last year. Not a single time.
What?
Like, that's what I'm saying. I didn't even have to get it out.
I used it. I use mine like every weekend.
But what I'm saying is I didn't, and I'm used to using it. So like the
Have
weather
you
is changing.
have you used it yet this year?
No, I haven't.
You shoveled all that you just got?
No, my wife did.
Atta boy.
I
Uh,
don't leave. I
Boy.
don't leave the house. What the fuck do I need to shovel
Answer.
for? I don't go
Did
anywhere.
she use the snowblower last year?
No, I shoveled most of last year too, though. I don't know. Well, there was times where we like took turns, but yeah, it is what it is.
I love that your
Regardless,
argument. I love that your argument is you won't have to deal with your problems because you'll be dead.
that's one of the things. But also, listen, I get to enjoy my life while I have it. You want to be short and have to rely on other people? Oh my god, I went to the grocery store. Oh man, I would love to get that up on the top shelf, but there's no one in the store right now. I'm gonna have to wait, or I'm gonna have to ring the bell at the end of the aisle, and then I'm gonna have to be embarrassed. No. sitting at
What
concerts,
bell
sitting
are
at
you
sports
ringing at the
events,
end of
and
the aisle?
the bells and aisles for people. What do you mean? Have you
What?
never seen that?
No.
A little help bells. Ding, ding, ding.
You've never seen a help bell in a store.
I've seen like in the store. Maybe I just never noticed them because I've never had to use them.
I feel like they're all over the place.
They actually a lot of them have like little directories too, like right next to them,
Yeah.
so you could like call different departments. It's wild.
I've seen like the phones or like
No, not the phones.
or
These are
like
No, well, those are you can use those to help, but
yeah,
there's
like
just a help button.
I don't think I've ever seen like a bell or anything. I probably just haven't paid attention because I've
that's
never needed
crazy.
it.
What height are you, Damone?
I'm 5'9" or 5'8.5".
Damn, that sucks. Because if you were 5'2" and a 5'8" person's not even seeing it, I don't even know if 5'2" person's gonna be able to see it to be able to hit the bell to get help to get their groceries.
Yeah, can you reach the button?
Mm, yeah, because that kind of sucks.
Matt, what's your final argument?
I just picture my wife now, like just like trying to hit this help
Trying
button,
to
just
hit
knowing she's that.
can't hit the too short for the help button.
Yeah. No. So you said to sell you on this, and so I'm gonna sell you on, like I said, the best thing I can think of. I think Joe's making the wrong argument. My money's gonna be invested. I'm gonna double it all throughout or quadruple it all throughout that time. But you know what's also gonna be nice is that if I'm that short, there's a good chance I'm fitting into some kids' clothes. You know how much cheaper kids' clothes is than adults' clothes?
They're
I'm
not.
definitely.
What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They're like half the price. I'm definitely going and being able to buy kids like extra large, and I'm fitting into that if I've lost 9 inches.
Let's talk about a waste of money. The kids' clothes and women's clothes should not be the same price or even remotely close to a men's clothes.
Well, I will say if so, I think most of the time with kid clothes, it's a waste of money because they grow out of it.
Right, but if I'm
But
already the
if
same
you're
size,
but if
Well,
you're always
he stopped growing in third grade though,
yeah,
so
he stopped growing in third grade, so he can still fit his third grade clothes. So he doesn't have to buy clothes ever. Like he just wear his clothes from when he was a third grader.
dude, a
Matt,
kid's
what
jersey's like $30, and then an adult jersey's like $180.
Matt, what instrument did you play?
I played trumpet and violin.
Would your arms be long enough to still be able to do that?
Yes,
Okay. I'm just checking.
there are children that play instruments.
I was gonna say, I feel like they usually you start as a child, which is probably shorter than 5'2".
Right. I was
Okay.
saying the most racist thing I'm going to say today, and that's saying a lot. You
That's
got a bunch of Asian
holy shit,
people.
that
You
came
got
out of
you
nowhere.
got a bunch of Asian people that are playing violin that I always see, and like their average height is 5'2", so that's
I was
about
expecting
right.
way worse.
Yeah,
Honestly, okay.
yeah. I was
That
like,
was a
whoa.
crazy way to start it off. Like this is the most racist thing I'm gonna say today.
Well,
Yeah.
usually I go with the normal type of racist joke, and then I've got like Damone or somebody to deflect for me. But I don't. Fortunately, I don't think, Joe, you have an Asian heritage, so I thought I was going to be in trouble there.
Yeah. So you both made good arguments, but I'm gonna go with being shorter. Giving up
Christ.
17 years is a lot. That's
I have
a whole teenager.
I need to point out that I have never won a single fucking thing since I started not being judge on stuff.
That's a whole teenager. 17
We're going
years
on like
old
3
is a
months of me
long
never winning.
time.
For a long, you made it sound like you like chose being judged. Now it sounded like Kenny
Right.
just kind of forced you into it. Like, you just,
Yeah, 17 years is a lot. Like if it was like maybe if it was like 5 years, I would be more likely to do it. But 17 years, like going from
Yeah.
80 to 63 is a huge drop.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't for the whole 17 years thing. Matt put me into that bracket, and I was not excited about that. But also when Kenny sent that, and I was like, that's a huge difference, like 9 inches compared to fucking almost 2 decades. Like
Yeah, that's like I said, that's an entire teenager.
I think
Like
it should have
it's
been 9 inches
gone.
in 9 years or something like that.
Yeah, like that would be more comparable. Like yeah, being shorter would suck a little bit,
Or
but
a foot in 10 years. I think that would be the
yeah,
best.
like being shorter would suck, but at least you're alive.
yeah, yeah. I feel like that's what I always came back to on the whole thing.
Yeah. But you gave it a good college try.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Well, you can find me losing all the time at Not a Real Court. over at t13media.com, which Not a Real Court is the #1 rated podcast of all time over there.
See,
We are
you're losing
also
is helping with the ratings. It's helping.
Yep.
We would
We
like to
also
see you
are
get
joined
better.
by shows like Geek in the Motherfucking Sheets, where we talk everything: Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, The Penguin. It's all over the place. Coming up with our year in review episode. We got Bucket, a wrestling podcast where next year I will be headlining every single week, being the greatest star of all time, writing the best universe of wrestling ever. You can also find Hood Movie Review, where I have only been on once and reviewed one movie of Blank Man, but Kenny is on every single one of those episodes. And I think Damone has done a few of those as well.
Yeah, I've
He's on
probably
every one
done
of
like
those.
5 of them.
Everyone on those episodes, but he's not on every one of these episodes. I see where we fall in the rankings.
Exactly. We also have Unbiased, where we make really bad football picks.
Did you pick Ohio State to beat Michigan?
No, am I missing one? I feel like I'm always missing one. The Bad Guy Has Spoken
Yes,
podcast,
the guy
where the
spoken.
bad boys sit around and say bad things.
Best black thing out there.
All right.
I don't have anything after that. Yeah.
Yep. Me neither. Case closed. Case closed.